Hey guys, appreciate you guys tuning in and taking a listen to our podcast, Real CFO, where we try to provide enough value where we can enhance the growth and financial well-being of those we serve, whether it be our clients, our community, or our employees, or anyone that we come in contact with. And I'm super excited today. I've got a twofer on, right? I don't know why we were blessed to have two, but we are Jacquie Dierks and Cindy Schmader, two fantastic entrepreneurs here in the Council Bluffs, Iowa area, Omaha, Nebraska. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Chad.
Yeah, if you would, Jacquie, why don't you start, and then Cindy will go on to you. Tell everybody just a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you're from.
Okay. Well, I'm a Minnesota native, but I've actually lived in Council Bluffs since 1982. Had a couple of different careers, but my latest career and my last career I started 11 years ago. I'm an independent agent with Globe Life Family Heritage Division. Pretty much in a nutshell, what we do is we protect individuals and families financially when your world is rocked by a cancer diagnosis, a critical accident, premature babies, heart attack, stroke, those types of things. So we have absolutely nothing to do with health insurance whatsoever. We don't pay doctors, we don't pay hospitals. We actually pay money directly to the policyholder, because when there are major medical events, people find out after the fact that, wow, the out-of-pocket expenses are unbelievable. So we actually
that's I've seen a lot of stories, and I want a full disclosure to everybody. It is a small world because I sit on a board with Jackie's husband, and then I'm in a mastermind group out of Texas with one of the leaders within the agency she is with. So it's definitely a small world. So I know the value there, and we'll dig a little bit deeper because I want you to share some stories, some success stories. That because I know you guys got a lot of them. And then Cindy, tell us a little bit about you.
I am born and raised Council Bluffs, native, grew up on a farm just east of Council Bluffs, went to school at Lewis Central, graduated from there. I won't tell you what year, we'll give away my age. But we live in Council Bluffs, we work in Council Bluffs, we play in Council Bluffs, we love it. My husband and I actually own Service Master Restore by Schmader there on the Council Bluffs side, on the Iowa side. And then on the Nebraska side, we own Service Master Restore of South Central Omaha. And so basically what we do, we are a disaster restoration service. We also do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile cleaning. We do hoarders. We're just in the last year or so, we've gotten into some bed bug cleanup. There's been quite a bit of that going around. So we're doing some of that kind of stuff. And, I just enjoy going out every day and helping our clients and helping them get to a better place in their life.
Yeah, I bet you've got some crazy stories too. I don't know. I don't know if now is the time and place to go into some of them, but we'll have a drink later and we can talk about some of them. But anyway, so tell me, Cindy, what got you into kind of that entrepreneurial world? Were you entrepreneurial before you got into Service Master? I know we've talked, when you've been owner of Service Master, but before that, what was that push or that bug that got you into it?
Before Service Master, I worked for an insurance company. And so I saw that side of it. I saw people come in devastated from, water or fire or even an accident, and kind of got to know that side of the business. And kind of long story short, my husband, his company was local. They were sold to a big company out of California. And he thought, usually they bring in their own people, right? And he was the branch manager at the time in Omaha. And he thought he was going to lose his job. So I thought I was so brilliant. And like, let's go buy a business. And so we've always wanted to do that. We went to a friend of my parents that owned she's a realtor. and said, she had an ice cream shop, they had a bar. And finally, I just had to say, you know what? I don't want anything to do with food. Like I
Mhm.
felt, growing up, we worked in a food. I worked at Mortensen's for many, many years, but I'm like, I didn't want anything to do with food. And so she sent us to a broker, and my husband's on the construction side of the world, and I was on the insurance side. And it just so happened it just kind of just mirrored perfectly.
Yeah.
And he had a Service Master Restore business that was for sale. And so we went through the process, buying and all that good stuff. And here we are today, 23 years later.
Wow. Been that long. How about you, Jackie? What got you into this latest endeavor?
Well, I grew up on a dairy farm, so I'm
Huh?
not afraid of hard work. And you work when you're not feeling well, you work when you have a headache, that kind of thing.
And
So
I let me stop you there because I have a dairy farm story too. My business
cool.
partner's wife grew up on a dairy farm,
Oh,
and
nice.
I don't think I've met anybody that will outwork her. It's a strength, but it's also a weakness. She's nonstop.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but so that was just the environment. I mean, we worked together as a family. We helped each other out. We just got the work done. It had to be done. We got it done. Then after college, I moved down here. I actually worked in public health for 13 years, and then decided when my kids were born, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, but still do something. So I actually sold jewelry for 20 years, and then I saw this policy through Family Heritage Globe Life, and it's like, wow, I love this. I'm going to get a policy. I think everyone should have one. And then I go, I think I want to do something different. And so 11 years ago, I took my insurance test and never looked back. It was the best decision I think I've ever made,
Wow.
career wise. And yeah, it's been good.
No, that's fantastic. Now let's dive into you got into business for yourself. I know, especially Jackie, in your business, going into insurance, investments, anything like at the ground floor, that's a grind. I mean, just to start fresh. I mean, I think 5, maybe 10%. I don't know what the number is now, but less than 5% that start make it after 3 or 5 years. Is that correct?
Wow, I really don't know those numbers. I can believe that though. People I think it might be easy. It's a simple concept, but it can be challenging when you actually have to get out there day after day. But so worth it just to see the impact that it's had on, families in the community.
Yeah, no, I know it. That's one thing especially with social media now, I see it. Cindy, you probably see it. Well, I don't know. You guys might not be on social media as much as I am. I get my news from TikTok at night. That's pretty my extent of the social. But uh, everybody sees the wins, right? Everybody sees you out there being successful, doing what you're doing. Cindy, you being successful, having the vacation homes or the boat or the whatever it might be, right? And they say, well, I can do that. Let me go buy a business or let me start selling insurance. It's easy because, well, you're in it 11 years. It didn't become easy until like year 10, right? I mean, now, and it's still not easy. I, I think our whole system or our culture anymore. It's this instant gratification, but people don't really know how much work it takes to start something or go into business for yourself. Do you see that, Cindy? I mean,
oh,
in your employees and just work ethic.
oh yeah. You know what? The work ethic that we see now is half of what we had even 5 years ago. But I call it after COVID. I mean, pre-COVID, we had some really hard workers. Not that my guys now don't work hard, but you just see it's the mentality has changed a little bit. In fact, I even have well, it was a couple of years ago. I had a guy that walked in and interviewed with me, and he's like, "This sounds easy. I can do it." And I said, "Okay, great." And after maybe 48 hours. I think he was like his second day on the job. He came in and he's like, I can't do this. And and you have to kind of God bless him. He had the
Yeah.
come forward and say, I can't do this. But in the same token, and we kind of laughed a little bit, and I said, well, what made you think that you could do it? He said, you made it look so easy. And I had to kind of take a step back and think, gosh, if I make it look that easy, maybe am I doing something wrong? Maybe I need, but it comes easy for me. I guess. I mean, the hard
Because you've
work.
only been doing it for 23 years. I mean,
have,
right?
But you know what? I'm kind of like Jackie. I grew up not up on a dairy farm, but I grew up on a farm. We had chickens and pigs and cows and, sheep and all of that stuff. And you got up in the morning and you went out and you fed them. We had a large garden. You went out every morning and you weeded the garden with grandpa. And, it was expected. I shouldn't even say expected. You just did it because you had to.
Right.
And our family didn't have a lot of money, and our garden was our winter food, and my mom and my grandma canned, and it was just, and I don't know, we just had a place here a couple weeks ago. Well, actually last week, it was a bed bug house. And one of my guys was just like, he's like, oh, I saw your, and I don't put a mask on when I'm working with them. And I don't do my hair up like I probably should. Because I want them to see me as a person, right? Working with them, I want them to feel comfortable. And I leaned over to kind of look under this table, and he's like, your hair was this close to the floor. And he goes, and I kept thinking, oh my God. I said, oh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, it just doesn't
Right.
I'm him. It doesn't.
So you got bed bugs, right?
Yeah. But I it's so it's kind of different, but.
No, it is. And a lot of it, work ethic, and it's a lot of people complain about it. Especially employers. You can't find anybody that works hard. And those are the same guys that are my age. And I said, you know what? You're right, but it's our damn fault.
Yes,
right?
it is. It is our fault. Correct.
We've given everything to our kids, and we've created that to a certain extent, right? Now, I like to think my kids have a great work ethic and everything. They're just putting it into different pursuits than maybe I was. I was raised, you work 6 to 6 or 6 to 7. I mean, you get up and you go. Life came second. And so I think I think the positive that came out of COVID, I think family time, more balance, so-called balance, started existing, and people are living maybe more towards purpose instead of, what their time clock shows. That's just my thoughts. Jackie, do you have any thoughts on that, or do you see it kind of with the recruits and things that you bring in?
Yeah, I am. Actually, I'm talking to a few different recruits. One is 18 years old, one's 20, and they are so grounded. They want to make a difference. They want impact. That's probably their number one thing that they want.
Yeah.
And they want a good income too, but they really want to make a difference in their communities. And to me, that's so exciting. And I told both of them, I said, oh my goodness, you give me so much hope for the next generation of people, because there are people like that, but I don't think everybody's wired that way. There are definitely people that are driven and disciplined. I don't think that's something you can really teach. And then there are some people that just say, hey, I want to do the bare minimum. I want to clock in at 8, clock out at 5, and be done. So those are just kind of some things that you can't really teach, but we certainly look for the driven people.
And I think,
I would agree. I think you just don't, there's needs for everybody, right?
Right.
I don't entrepreneurship or business ownership or that. I admire folks that say, you know what, I'm going in at 9, I'm leaving at 5, and then it's me, my wife, my kids, the ball game, all the stuff, and I don't have to think, what's going on, what's tomorrow look like, what happened today, how am I going to deal with this situation? Getting messages at 8 o'clock at night from one of our offices, I'm constantly go. My wife says, you're always always go, and it's hard. So I admire folks that can shut that off. I also like the ability to have some flexibility when I need it or want it at times. And I am driven. I want to succeed, sometimes to my own detriment because you put too much into it. But um, that's me. Is that kind of the mindset that you have, Cindy? Kind of, it's
It is. It is. I mean, I leave work, but I don't leave work. I mean, I physically leave work, but my mind is still always on it. And, my husband has been kind of giving me a hard time the last couple of times I've gone on vacation. Literally takes me 2 to 3 days to just decompress and just be able to
yeah,
let it go and not carry the phone with me everywhere and not have my computer handy and so it is and not that I don't trust the people that I leave back home, because I do, but they just might need for something, so I got to have that cell phone handy. So yeah.
yeah. No, that's me. In fact, I just had a call today with he's actually a client of mine. He's out of Texas, but he specializes in executive assistants. And so I was talking to his team today and they're remote, about hiring an executive assistant. So I can start um, forgetting about it sometimes. And one of the things is, and I'm sure you get this, Cindy, because I've known you longer. I know how you kind of operate, Jacquie.
That's not
We've
fair.
met a few times, but it's that control factor, right? I'm like, how do I give this person
Yeah.
access to my emails and expect within 2 to 4 weeks, based on videos I shoot, responses that she's copied in, that she is responding to my emails like I would? And what if it's an email she can't respond to? How does she save it so I can respond to it? How do I make sure she's doing it right? And they all said, you and my team here said, you just got to kind of let go,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And deal with the fires as they come instead of creating them before they show up.
I've been told
Right.
that more than once. We have a new general manager, have since June of last year, and we went on vacation. I want to say it was in September maybe. And when I left, I said, "Okay, now I'll do my emails while I'm gone." And he's like, "Why don't you just leave your laptop here?" I can't. I trust him, but I had to. Although I will tell you, I did not open my laptop. First time in 23 years, I did not open my laptop. So
Yeah,
I feel like I'm getting a little bit better maybe, but
that's good. That's good. How about you, Jacquie? I mean, you get a team, or do you feel? How do you handle control or delegation, or maybe you're different than Cindy and I. Hopefully, you are.
Yeah. um, you just do what you need to be done and you prioritize. When we recruit people, they're independent agents. I don't have any employees.
Okay.
I probably need to get some kind of assistant that would take some of the busy work off that I don't need to do, but
Right.
yet I love to do. I love to do every aspect of this business.
All right.
So that's just me. That's my
Yeah.
problem. And
Yeah.
maybe it's the control thing, or like you said, Chad, will they do it right? Will they respond the way I want them to respond? And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've always been told that if somebody can do it 80% as good as you, they should be. And if they're not, then it's your fault. That's your problem. You deserve where you're at. So I'm starting to take that to heart, maybe, and letting it go. I'm getting better. Some of the successes, Jacquie. I know Mark, who I've known for a while. He's always sharing stories, especially on social media or even in person, that would kind of highlight the value of the products that you offer. Because you've seen some firsthand accounts, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, yes. Many times a week I do. Actually, I'm just looking, I'm supposed to send these in because we get written testimonies from our clients. not many insurance companies get thank you letters, but we do. And they give us permission to share this, but this is a very recent one. She actually works for a company in Omaha, and Lydia, who 2 days before her 37th birthday was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she said, when I first got diagnosed, I reached out to Jacquie and she walked me through the incredible easy steps to turn in my claim. This has allowed me to stay focused on what I need to and not to have any financial worries. Submitting these claims were very easy. I even get letters from the company asking me if I have potential claims that I have missed. Who does that? This is such an easy process, and I just feel so blessed to have this. And for her, in her cancer journey, we paid her over $16,000.
Oh, wow.
And she was able to use that for whatever bills she needed to pay. It's directly deposited into her bank account. So that's the stress that most cancer or people that have medical issues, their first thing is, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills?
Yeah.
But she had a backup plan that paid her money, so she didn't have those same worries that most people have. So that's what motivates me.
And I'll tell you, a lot of the folks that listen or follow our content and stuff are business owners. And, we, at least within my organization, I also know someone else on your team or in the network that I forget her name. I see her at the gym occasionally. But every year or up until the last couple of years, she would come in and meet with our employees. And it's something that we would offer our employees or have them sign up for, that give them the ability to sign up for. It's a huge benefit that you could provide to your employees. So it's something to look at, because these catastrophic kind of things where any burden you can take off of them is huge. So, if that's something that you're interested in, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with Jacquie for sure. Cindy, I don't know how deep you can go on some of your stories. I don't know. I've heard some in the past, but the really intriguing ones are the hoarding ones. But
Yeah.
you do a valuable service to people. It's not the cleanest stuff, but kind of a story that kind of highlights why you're in business, why you do what you do.
You know what? When we first started, that was one of the things that we said. We wanted a business where we could help people. And, I don't, maybe it's from, we're always helping somebody, right? My insurance days, I don't know. But so one of our very first jobs we did was a fire loss, which, kind of seemed like a fire, right? But it was not. The gal's brother had passed away a few months prior to the fire, and he was in an urn on top of the fireplace, which is what caught on fire. And of course, when we got there, she said, "Oh, my brother," and I'm like, "What?" And I'm thinking her brother was in this fire, and that is the one thing that I just cannot do. I cannot go in if there's a body there. I don't know why, I just can't do it. We clean them up, but I can't go in. It's just weird. Anyway, it's just me. But we went in, we found his urn, and it was just black as night. And she's like, "Well, I guess it is what it is." And I'm like, no, let me take it. Oh my gosh. I took it back to my shop and I personally cleaned it. And it was the most beautiful urn I've ever seen. It was silver with gold inlay. And we gave it back to her and she just sat and cried and held it. And
oh, wow.
That's kind of our why, right? We had another one that the gal was a hoarder, got her house all cleaned up for her, and it was a mess. But she actually went on to get, the Red Cross came in and helped her with some. I think she got maybe some hearing aids from them, maybe new eyeglasses. I can't remember. It's been a while. But actually, by the time we got done with her fire and moved her back in, or I'm sorry, not fire, her hoarding job, moved her back in, she was ready to go. It was just so many things that personally set her back and emotionally set her back that she just kind of gave up on life. And so we kind of gave her a new little push. And even to this day, I reach out to her every once in a while. I go have coffee with her and just talk to her and see how things are going, and try to stop by her house in a while, make sure it's still clean and it looks good. She's doing amazing.
That's awesome. And we'll wrap things up here in a little bit, but it's a testament to the number of years you've been in business, right? And you've been in 11, Jackie, 23, Cindy. I've been in business for myself almost 20, 20 years last year. So I'm on year 21. And to stay around that long, there has to be something bigger than you, something bigger than money, something bigger than financial, right? And these stories are kind of what's it. It's like us, if we're working, with a client. Now, it's not life-saving, catastrophic stuff, but, we're not just looking to do that next tax return. We're not looking to be that next transaction. I mean, we do have some transactions in our retail side of our business, but it's like, what value are we delivering? And if we're focused on delivering that value, everybody feels better. Everybody feels like they win. If we just close a transaction, it's just monetary. And at some point, that's not worth, anything, right? So it is a testament to you guys being in business, especially you, Jackie, and your line of work. That's a tough business. 11 years, that's amazing. And then Cindy, I've known you a while, and being in that business and your heart and your care for what you do, I know that's why you've been around so long and you're successful at it. And I'd like to think that's one of the reasons we are as well. So, guys, I think I've loved having you on. One final thought, if you could leave our listeners with just kind of one thought about your product or service that they might find valuable or need, or people they serve might find valuable or need. And then one thing that you can talk to that young entrepreneur, that young investment advisor, that young insurance agent going out there or franchise buyer buying a business. What's one thing that you could leave them with that you think is a must know in their toolkit as they get going?
Oh, Cindy, you go first.
I knew you were going to do that, Jackie. I would say if you're getting into our line of work, restoration, that is, for the money, I would tell you I think that's the wrong reason to get into it. If you're in it for the heart and to help people, which is what we went into it for, the money will come. It might take longer for some than it does for others, but we're at conference this week, and I hear guys talking about the millions and millions of dollars that they have made, and not to discredit any of them, that's great, but I often wonder, and sometimes I just want to ask, are you in it for the money, or are you in it for the people? So I mean, I'm very much in it for the people. So but I also, before I forget and sign off, I actually want to give shout out to Jackie. I have Jackie's. She comes into my office quite often and meets with my people. She's amazing. I had some cancer, skin cancer, but it was Jackie. Bless her heart. She rode me. I don't know how long, Jackie. Maybe 6 months, maybe a year. But
I think a year.
It probably was a year, knowing me, because my personal life always seems to come the last, right? But Jackie stayed with me. We got it all filled out. She turned it in for me, and I just cannot say enough good things about you. You are very highly recommended in our world. So.
I so appreciate that.
Yeah, you're up, Jackie.
Ooh, okay. So what would I tell people? Our product has a return to premium. That means if you don't use it, you don't lose it. You will never be younger than you are today or in better health than you are today. So get covered before something happens and you no longer qualify.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. As far as a new person getting in, oh my gosh, believe in yourself. Come in and burn your bridges. Don't be dabbling in this and this and this. Go all in, give it your 110%. And then after 6 months or 12 months, reassess. Is it something you love to do and passionate, and keep on going and never look back?
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate you two being on. I think we covered a lot of good topics today. I mean, most importantly to me is, the purpose in what you're doing, and making sure that if you're going to be a business owner or go into anything, it's like, what is the reason I'm doing it? And if it's for the right reasons, it will work out fine, and delivering that value. So great nuggets of information that you guys have shared. I appreciate you coming on today. And until next time, we'll see you later.